Good afternoon. This is Gary with the Avid Cyclist, and the trial of Miss Smilianski. As most people know, at the Magnus White trial, she's the young lady who was accused of reckless driving. It was on trial for reckless driving with a lesser offense of careless driving. It just concluded. Closing remarks are just ended at 3 o'clock now on Friday afternoon, and they're going into jury deliberations. And I got the lucky privilege to catch Andrew Phillips. Most of you know him, the cyclist lawyer located in Golden, Colorado. And he is on a trip out to Utah and was able to pull aside off the highway to speak to us a little bit, to talk to us a little bit about what he thought, because the last 5 days he's been at the trial watching up until today, where he was actually listening to it on the road. So I just wanted to get his take on it and share that with you all. So, hey, Andrew, welcome.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for letting me chat with you for just a minute. I appreciate the time. It's been a long week and a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, and it's been a hard week. I know for everybody that's had to sit through it all. Good that it's in the hands of the jury now, and I think they're going to come to the right decision. I hope they are. Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? If you were, I see it as from a layman point. To me, it looks, oh my gosh, how could they not convict? But you're an attorney, you've been through this before, you know what the waters look like.
The prosecution has a huge, very high, very difficult bar to get over. It's, beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a very tough thing. It means that no reasonable person could disagree with the outcome of the verdict. That sounds easier than done. It's very, very difficult to get, 14, 12 people to all confirm the exact same thing. I think it's gonna be tough, but I'll tell you, the closing argument by Mike Doherty just now was absolutely brilliant. I was really impressed the way that he brought it all together, and he pointed out the inconsistencies and the flaws in the arguments. He pointed out just the things that I think the jury really need to hear and focus on to come to their conclusion. In particular, I really appreciate the fact that he called out the defense attorney in saying that Ms. Smilianska had accepted responsibility from day one, when the reality is she just hadn't. She did everything she could to not accept responsibility, and she would have continued to do so had there not been the in-depth investigation into her vehicle and what occurred with her driving there. She was saying that the steering wheel gave out, and that's simply not true. And even when confronted with the evidence, she still completely denied that. And it wasn't until they got months more down the road with more and more evidence piling on top of her, and it was no way out of it, that she finally accepted that she played some role in this absolute horrendous tragedy.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when the defense on their rebuttal brought that up, that she's accepted responsibility, because that just teed it up for the DA to be able to go after. I mean, why did you open that door? Because I'm a layman, I'm not a lawyer, and I saw that coming.
There's some interesting decisions by the defense attorney. I don't know what he was trying to do, but I did see where he opened the door a number of times for the prosecution to really go after some of the facts and to point out the impeachment issues that kept coming up. Ms. Smilianska, the fact that she even took the stand in the first place blows me away. Defense 101, you don't let your client take the stand, so I was really surprised by that. And then when she got on the stand, she was very inconsistent with prior statements, and even in the same conversation within a half an hour, she had inconsistencies. In the legal world, we call those inconsistencies impeachment. In the real world, we call them lies. And at one point, the judge actually said, "This is impeachment," which is absolutely wild. You don't normally get a judge to say that this is in fact impeachment. In other words, the judge is essentially calling the witness a liar. And that's pretty wild. It just doesn't normally happen. So I think that all credibility was lost with her. And I think that the jury's going to really have to think hard about that.
There was one key moment yesterday in her testimony that I caught, where she was asked something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And her reply was, "I don't believe I need to or have to answer that question."
Yeah, that could,
I didn't. To me, that was very pompous in a way. That did not make, you didn't make friends doing that.
It's interesting. You and I we talked about this. There are different ways that she reacted that I didn't take quite the same way that you did. I can see where, witnesses are coached one way or another. And I don't read too much into those tea leaves as much, but maybe a layperson does.
Tea leaves, ouch.
I mean, yeah.
So what do you think? You know, right now it's 3 o'clock. I guess I'll probably go till 5 deliberating. Do you think we see a verdict today?
I hope so. For the sake of the White family, I mean, at the heart of all this, you know, we got to remember it's a son that was lost. It was a brother, you know, a rising star, a light in this world that was taken from us, from the world and from his family. And I think they've been through enough. They need closure on this. It needs to end. So I hope that the jury can consider the facts, do their job, and come back quickly. And then we can move on with the next part of this. And it's still a long road ahead for the Whites. And I pray for them every day that they'll find some peace, but I don't know how they'll find it.
I don't know how.
Incredibly difficult.
In fact, I met the Whites, oh my gosh, 8 days after I was hit by a truck, and got involved with the Ride for Magnus. That was the ride that honored Magnus White, that had an astronomical turnout in Boulder, and that's how I came to meet you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
It's so funny how interesting and how through these events, so many lives have intertwined, but how it's all affected. So, I mean, I don't think people realize how many lives the death of somebody like Magnus White affected. Friends,
and
his family, teammates.
Yeah.
It's affected. The repercussions are so wide. It reminds me of a line from Gladiator. What happens today echoes in eternity, and it really does. It just the ripples will go felt for such a long time.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and I just hope that there's some comfort, and I have no idea how that comes to them, but at some point that they feel that, and I know that this community has really stood up and tried to surround them and support them, and I appreciate our community for that. I think that we live in an incredible state and have just incredible people around us, and then we need to hold people accountable when they do the wrong thing. We hold them accountable so that it can affect change, and that's an important part of the legal process. So I appreciate the chance to talk with you for just a couple moments about all that.
Drive safe.
Head out, and we'll talk again soon.
And I want to hear a report. You're going out to the Salty Lizard, a ride that you're supporting in Utah. So you're going to race that. I expect a podium finish. And
not for me.
Hey, if you can get on with a live remote and tell us what's going on out there, it'd be a lot of fun tomorrow.
That would be great. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
We'll talk about racing. We'll talk about gravel racing, not about legalities.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Take care.
Thank you very much, buddy. Take care.
You bet. Bye.